الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواب الكريم. So, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I welcome you all and I thank you for being here for this training on Rukja. So as you see in our first level of Rukja training, there are 6 courses: the risks and protections, and then the reading, and then the cupping, and then the treatment, and then the symbols, and then the diagnostic. And 3 of these courses are theoretic and 3 are practical. So we're going to do the theoretical courses here. I'm going to give you word on the practical ones, which we're not going to do the practical ones here. So the first course that each one must understand before going any further is the risks and protections. So in Rukja, the risks are not a risk, are a certitude. I mean, you're going to have problems with jinns and sorcerers. By making Rukja, it is sure. It's not just a risk. It is as sure as if you walk on a dog's tail, it will turn back and bite you. It's automatic. That's how jinns are going to take revenge on you. Well, the risks start when you treat people. But when you are learning Rukja, there's no risks. So don't be afraid of sitting here. It's only when you're going to start making Rukja that you get risks. And secondly, you don't have risks when you do Rukja to yourself or your close relatives, because you are already in a problem, so you might as well struggle to get yourself out of the problem. The risk is going to start when you're going to treat foreigners, and you're going to treat the public. So that's when the problems of all people are going to fall on you. So the risks are 2 kinds. First is the jinns, and second is the sorcerers. So as for the jinns, when you read Quran on someone and he has jinns, so you're going to burn those jinns. Or the Quran burns the jinns when they are not Muslim or they are doing bad things. Even if they are Muslim, if they are doing wrong and they are doing wrong to the person, so the Quran will burn them. So when you read Quran on a person and you burn him you burn the jinns with Quran, those jinns will take revenge on you. And how will this revenge occur? It will come in your dreams. Mostly they come in your dreams, and you see something attacking you in your dream, like a snake or a dog or people or militaries or monster or a monkey, whatever. So what do you have to do? So we explain to our patients that when they are attacked in dreams, they must catch them and read Quran on them, and they can kill them in the dream. Alhamdulillah, I had one of the people who attended the course yesterday, and he said that he himself, he did that on his own. No one explained to him. He was attacked in his dream and he killed one, and then he killed the second one. And after he killed 2 of them, so they didn't come anymore in his dreams. But still he had the problems in his life. So that's how it happens. When you kill 1 or 2 or 3 in your dreams, none of them is still going to come. When they see you, they recognize you're a jinn killer, so they'll leave you alone. So now, for people who we treat and who have bad dreams, we tell them to prepare themselves before sleeping to fight those jinns. Prepare themselves, making the usual dua and adding أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. That is Baqarah 148, meaning wherever you are, Allah will bring you all because Allah is Almighty. And they repeat it and they ask Allah Ta'ala to bring the jinns or the people that are harming them and to give them the power to fight them, to beat them, and they do their best to kill them in the dreams. But for Raqis, for people making Rukja, it's not the same, because we don't have some people against us. We're having every day, we're making Rukja to new people, and we're having new jinns and new sorcerers that are after us. So it's something that's not ending. So we have to be constantly ready to receive them and to fight them. We have to be in a in a state, in mental state, that you are constantly ready to receive them and to fight them. And how can you be like that? You have to be constantly attentive to the orders of Allah Ta'ala. What does that mean? Does not mean that you're going to be making dhikr 24 hours like an angel. It's not necessary to be to that point, but you have to be always attentive to the orders of Allah Ta'ala. That means if you eat or drink, you cannot forget to say Bismillah. You cannot forget your prayer and time has passed, prayer has passed and you didn't even realize. And you cannot be sitting with people and they talk about ghaibah and you're not realizing that this is haram, or looking at a woman and looking, not realizing this is haram. So even if you're not making dhikr, but you have a little alarm that turns on any time there is an order of Allah Ta'ala, something you must do or something you must not do. So when you are permanently aware and attentive to the orders of Allah Ta'ala, so at any time the jinns will come to attack you, you will understand that these are jinns and you must read the Quran and you will have the correct reaction. So that is what is required to beat the jinns and to fight the jinns in your dreams. And as you have understood, once you have killed 2 or 3 of them, none will come again. And the weak points you might have, which will let jinns beat you, is sins. So if someone is making sins, the jinns will see that as a weak point in him, and they will come through that weak point to beat him. For example, if you look at women, so jinn will come, you don't make other basar, you don't keep your eyes down. So jinns will come in your dream, as a woman, as you like to see. And you will have the reaction to look, because that's how you are. You like to see that, and you do see that, you do look at that. So when he will come in your dream in that shape you like, so you'll be opening your eyes widely to have a nice look at it, and that time the jinn is going to hit you. And when he's going to hit you, what will be the result? The result is that it's going to weaken you spiritually and physically. It means you're going to wake up in the morning, or you wake up just when you are hit, and your iman has decreased, as if you are looking at women for a long time, or doing something bad with women, and you'll be physically also diminished, as if you are a bit sick that way. So if that does happen, what must you do? You must take tawbah immediately. So now you recognize that this sin you've been practicing, that's what it led you to, and you must make tawbah of that immediately. And then look, you're going to work your iman again with Quran, with tawbah, with dhikr, and also, while physically you just treat yourself or take some vitamins, and then you look for that jinn again, that jinn who managed to beat you in your dream. You're going to look for him again and again until you finish him off. And you continue fighting. So that leads us to the condition of making ruqya on people. We cannot say that the condition is never to make sins, because that's not a condition you can put on a human being. But you must be on the path of taqwa, learning taqwa, improving yourself. And if you find out, or if you realize you have made a sin, you must be ready to repent immediately. But if someone is making sins and knowing he is making sins and not willing to stop those sins, so he cannot make ruqya. He cannot make ruqya on the public. You can always make ruqya on yourself and your relatives, but you cannot make ruqya on the people, right? So that is the condition. That is the condition, and this is one reason why we do not encourage anyone to make ruqya, because you cannot know what the other guy is doing in his private life. And you can't say, come, make ruqya, you're a good Muslim, you have iman, you have this, that, come make ruqya, and the day he has problem with jinns, what are you going to do about it? So it's his own responsibility. It's his own responsibility. So this is the first part of the risks with jinns. Jinns that are in people, and when we read, that's what happens. Now the second part of risks is sorcerers. So when you make ruqya to people and you treat people and people start getting better, so you are breaking the work of sorcerers. And some people are not going to be happy about what you are doing. That means, for example, the person who did sihr on that patient you have treated, He's going to see that the guy is getting well, that he's not ill, that he's getting a job, that he's getting married, that that lady is having children. So he's going to complain to his sorcerer, I have paid you so much money, you told me that you're so strong, and no one can break your work, and how come now he's got out of his problem, and now he's improving in his life and everything. And that sorcerer, they are very proud and very naughty, I mean that's obvious, and they cannot bear that to break their name, because you're giving him a bad reputation, that this guy is zero and the work he's doing is no worth, etc. So he cannot bear that. So he's going to look, he's going to research who's done this. And in this ruqya job, you cannot hide yourself. I mean, any jinn can tell him that, yes, that poor guy has gone to you and you have made him ruqya, and that's how he gets out of it. Well, even just very often when you get the jinns out of the person, they will go right back to the sorcerer and say, yes, the mission you have given me now, it has been broken, and here I am, is there any more job? And he will do the report that you have done this, you have took the sihr out, you have killed some jinns and burned some others and this and that. So he's going to immediately do sihr onto you. He will immediately do sihr onto you, and that sihr he's going to do to you is not the same sihr as he does to common people, because you are someone making prayer, making Quran, making protections, making a lot of things, so you need a special sihr to break you, you see? So as long as you continue treating people, you will get more and more of these very strong and special sihrs coming onto you. So that is something also sure. You can be sure you're going to get that. You can be sure you're going to get that. So what are you going to do about that? So first of all, you're going to do the usual protections that we give to all our patients. And when we say usual protections, does not mean it is weak protections. It is very strong things. Because Rasulullah said that when you read Qul Huwallahu Ahad and Falaq and Nas 3 times after Subh, so nothing can harm you all the way to night, etc. When you do it after Maghrib, nothing can harm you until the morning. And these, usual dua, أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم, that we give to all people. So you have to do that also. And as I said yesterday, the first and most important of all protections is to leave sins first. So really must do your best to leave sins. Actually, in all the activities I have done in my life, as learning Quran, as preaching, as making da'wah, as going to Hajj, as many other writing books, translating, etc. I didn't see anything that increases iman like ruqya, because you are directly confronted to ghaib. You are directly confronted to ghaib, and you see the effect of Quran, and you see how jinns embrace Islam, and many things, mashallah. So when you are inside, so you have to stick onto deen more and more, and mashallah, Allah Ta'ala help us. So what I was saying, that how you're going to protect yourself from these sorcerers. So there's the usual protections that you must do every day, plus leaving sins, plus now the Quranic water we give to patients to do treatment with, you're going to have to wash with that all year long. That means you're doing preventive treatment all year long for yourself and your family. You have to do that all year through, you see. And I'm saying this very seriously, but I always get some of my pupils that neglect it, because this is how dunya is. When you are strong, you can't imagine that one day you're going to be weak, and you think that nothing can get you down. So you just carry on, and then you start getting a bit weaker and a bit weaker until you're all the way down. And now you say, what's happening to me? You see, and that is the problem. That some people think that because they have iman and they have tawakkul on Allah Ta'ala, and they are reading Quran and making a scene every day and making such and such prayer, that nothing can happen to them. But you just have to remember that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was affected by sihr. So who will not be affected if Rasulullah was affected? And how much can you be protected? More and more and more sahirs are making sihr to you every day, so it can't be. I mean, so you have to treat yourself preventively all year long, yourself and your family. So in order to do that, the easiest way to do it is to get a big bucket of water, like a 200-liter dustbin in your house, and you fill it with water and you make a ruqya on it. And anytime you take a shower, you, your wife and children, so you wash with water. Just put a pint in that, and every time you take a shower, you just wash with it, and do that all year long. So this is necessary protection. And if you are doing that, and if with all these cautions, something happens to you, and the sahir managed to hit you and to do something to you or to your wife and children, so you just treat yourself the same way as you treat other people. So this is also the problem of some beginners or some people who try to make ruqya, is that they don't know all what's about ruqya, so they try, and if something happens to them, so they don't know how to get out of it. But once you know all the ways of treatment and all the kinds of sihr, so inshallah, whatever can happen to you, you will treat yourself as you treat other people, and that's it. It's not the end of the world, and it's nothing, it's not more complicated than that. And if